again, South Florida. Welcome to Let's Talk Safe Money with Len Strickler. He is one of the co-founders of the LS Financial Group. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. Len, hey. I am giddy to see you once again. We do the radio show together, but I'm so glad to be in studio with you. How you doing?
Doing great, thanks. I really look forward to working here again with you. Like you said, we do radio, and now we got TV going together. It's awesome.
Yeah. You've been helping so many people around the South Florida area. I know you and your partner, 𝗳𝗚𝙗𝗍𝗏, have been answering so many phone calls about the topics. Yeah. We're trying to get people, as we say, financially hurricane ready.
Yeah.
It's hurricane season almost all the time in the markets.
Yeah, that's true. Certainly in South Florida, but you're right in the markets, especially recently.
Yeah, we never know exactly what's going to go on. But for some of the viewers, just for the first time, we are going to be addressing so many of your retirement planning needs, what's happening in the markets. And what I was really happy about is you wanted to talk a bit about the doom and gloom and how we're going to try to make today's show a little bit more positive. We will address what's going on, but your perspective on it, there's a lot of negativity, right?
Yeah, there really is, you know, and I think that there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt out in there in the market today. And I just, you know, it reminds me of my grandmother. You know, I came up in, you know, in the projects of Philly. I came up kind of tough. But my grandmother was an awesome lady. She only had a 6th grade education, but let me tell you, she was probably the smartest woman I ever knew. But she actually turned me on to literature and to books, right? And there were 3 books, really, that helped me so much. One was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in that book, I learned that in every adversity, there's a seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. So in other words, in every adversity, like what's going on right now in the market, we have people calling us all the time, Spike, I just lost 50,000, 100. What I like to say is, folks, it's going to be okay, okay? I mean, in every adversity, there's a seed of there's a silver lining somewhere. So it's just how we look at it, right?
Right.
How we look at it.
But I think where I'd like to take that a little bit further, it's going to be okay if you do something about it, right? We can't just bury our head in the sand right now. There are real factors that are happening. You said people are losing real money. We've joked about this over the microphones before. A lot of the big box where they'll say, "Well, that's a paper loss."
Oh, right.
There are retirees out there with real losses right now, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, you know, let's face it, we really do have an issue going on out here. I mean, you know, the talking heads are telling us, you know, oh well, we're not in a recession. They're trying to change even the word. The definition of recession.
Redefined recession.
Like, you know, come on, folks. If you're a family of 3, like my son, who's a pastor, got my 3 little grandbabies, right? Listen, life's hard. You think they don't think we're in a recession? Gosh, my daughter-in-law, right? She has to go 25 miles to work, okay? You know what kind of gas bill that is?
That's
I mean,
$200-300. Yeah,
it's a lot of money. And then the kids' food. I mean, you try to buy a steak lately. I mean, it's out of control. Inflation is really out of control.
I got to tell you, I've been buying a lot of hamburger.
Yeah, right. Hot dogs and hamburgers, man. Hey, I'm back to spam.
let's not go that part. No, you're not. Because you're helping people through their retirement. But I do like that you do a lot of reading and a lot of research on this, and you also apply it though to your clients. Like we say, there are real losses out there. We talk about this, you talk about this a lot, how to get your money safe.
Absolutely.
This is a time to be picking up the phone and talking with people. Can you talk a little bit about your strategy? How is yours different than just hang on, don't worry, it's going to be okay?
Well, one of the things that we really preach, my whole thing is, folks, you got to get out of a Wall Street casino, okay? I mean, when you're in retirement age, you cannot afford to lose money, folks. You just can't. It'll kill you, and it'll take you 7 to 10 years just to make it back. Because remember, we're taking money out, right, in retirement. So, you know, what we do is we help folks get safe. My #1 priority is, folks, we got to get you out of that Wall Street casino and get a portion of your money safe. Now, I didn't say all of it, but a portion, a good portion. If you're 60, we like to apply this rule. If you're 60 years old, 60% of your portfolio should be somewhere safe, where you're never going to lose your principal, okay? You're going to get some nice upside gains, and you can take 10% of that money every year without any kind of penalties. But you're safe, okay? So you can only go up or sideways. right? It's a beautiful thing, but it has to be designed properly. And it's, you know what it is? You know what I'm going to say?
You know, I just, you caught me cheating right
I know.
I just looked over at the time clock because I'm like, I need to know if I can ask Len this question. And I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the A word, folks.
The A word.
And I don't want the FCC calling me right now. You're talking about the A word as far as annuities. And there's a lot of people who have pushback and reservations. Why is some of that?
Most of that comes, Spike, from variable annuities. What happened, a lot of advisors, you got to remember, we talked a little bit a minute ago, financial advisors, they'll tell you everything. It's just a paper loss, and don't worry, the market always comes back, all this, right? But that's the one thing that we have to take a look at, and that is getting the money safe, okay, and then making sure that you don't have to pay all these fees, okay? So that's one of the things we really want to look at.
Okay. All right. Now, I also noticed you got a couple of stacks of paper over there.
Yeah.
A couple of those bounds. Art is not with us right now, but I think you brought a copy of his book, right? The No Compromise Retirement Plan?
The No Compromise Retirement Plan, yeah, right here. This is Art's book, yep.
So one of the things that we would like to do is we're going to continue talking about how we get your money as safe as we can, South Florida. We realize that around this area, a lot of folks are heading into retirement if you're not retired already. So Len has an entire grouping of different kinds of tools. We have the income analyzer, the No Compromise Retirement Plan, the 5 steps to a safe and successful retirement, all kinds of things that we want to get into people's hands. But more importantly, when they call the phone number and reach out to you right here, you'll actually sit down and review with folks, right?
That's right.
What kinds of things will you take a look at?
Well, we do a complete retirement readiness kind of review. We kind of been calling it the safe harbor, because of the hurricane, season. But yeah, we want to take a look at everything. And one of the things we really want to look at is a safe money scorecard. Again, I want to get your money safe. Okay, we talked about that earlier. But the safe money scorecard will show you 5 different fixed index annuities. We were talking about annuities, and variable annuities got a bad rap because they're right back in the market, okay? And when they're back in the market, their advisor, keeps them in the market and gets a fee, okay?
Right.
So we want to get them out of that and get some of that money in a safe place, okay?
Okay.
So that's really what we're trying to do. The other thing that we'll do with that Safe Money Scorecard is we'll show them 4 different annuities, okay? And we'll show them different designs, because there are different designs. Some of them now today come with a long-term care rider. Some of them we want to do is the guaranteed lifetime income, where they get that money no matter what, just like Social Security. So different designs once we know what the client or the prospect wants. So that's what we do. The scorecard, and the other thing is the income analyzer, which we'll talk about a little bit in a minute.
Len, I'm going to turn you into the beautiful model that you are. Show us a copy there of the No Compromise.
Yeah, this is Art, my partner, Art. There you go. Okay.
And so, folks, we will get you a complimentary copy of the No Compromise Retirement Plan if you call into the phone number here. But more importantly, Len wants to sit down with you and make sure that we get your retirement income safe. Look, there is always a hurricane coming inside the stock markets, and we want to make sure that you avoid this one that is going on right now. Call right now so you can get your own complimentary review from Len and the team here at Let's Talk Safe Money, one of the co-founders of the LS Financial Group, by calling 844-299-0355. More Let's Talk Safe Money with Len Strickler right after this.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Thank you so much for coming back to Let's Talk Safe Money with Len Strickler. I'm your host, Spike Spangle, and we realize that there's a lot of worry and a lot of angst out there right now. That's what Len and the team want to be addressing on today's program. And, you know, how we can kind of, as you've said, count our blessings, stay happy. But, Len, let's address some of the things. We've talked about it weekly over the airwaves on the radio, but let's talk about it now with the viewers. What are some of these real pressure points that people are feeling right now?
Well, I look at it, you know, we're talking about the hurricane, okay, because we were in Florida, right? And we always get a preparedness, you know. The folks out there, you probably got, if you're in Florida, you probably got from Governor Ron DeSantis a preparedness sheet in the mail. And it tells you the routes to use to get out and all the different things to do, right? Well, that's what we want to try to help you do, folks. But let's face it right now. I mean, we've got inflation at, what, 8.5%, 9%, probably 9%.
Yeah. Well, okay, but I'm gonna stop you right there, Len, because you know that I don't believe in this inflation. 9% to me is not a real number, because we've got automobiles, we've got homes, we've got things that aren't even included. I would say real inflation is 15 to 20%.
Well, it's probably true, but didn't you heard recently, though, from out of, you know, Washington, that inflation's okay now?
Oh,
no, we're okay. There's really no inflation. Very little now.
Really?
It's unbelievable. We can't make this
I
up.
don't know who's doing their grocery store buying,
absolutely.
but they're not just shopping at the same stores I am.
Crazy. So, you know, you got that, you got gas. You know, I call it these little storms, right, that are going to turn into, if you ever seen the movie The Perfect Storm?
Yeah.
Great, with Clooney. And man, it happened. It just happened. There's and we got all these little storms going on. We got inflation. We got the energy crisis. We got the war going on. We got China. I mean, it's like a keg of dynamite, but it's like a perfect storm where it happened.
Right, but it's a perfect storm for retirees right now.
If they come and see Len and get help.
Well, that will help them avoid the perfect storm. But there's a lot that is happening simultaneously that hasn't happened for a long, long time. Inflation, it is real. It's the highest inflation in over 4 decades, the highest we've seen since the 1970s. The stock market is down. I think we can finally say that the bull run is over, the 14-year bull run. Probably by the end of the year, I mean, who knows, it could completely recover. But the stock market's down, inflation being up, and the other part of this perfect storm, taxes.
Yeah.
What's going to be happening with taxes? Len, you say it all the time, taxes are going down, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. How many of you believe that out there, folks? I mean, this is amazing to me. You know, we knew, and we've been preaching about taxes and the tax train's coming. And we've been preaching this for a long time, folks. You can't have a national debt at what, probably 35 trillion now. That's not even the interest on the debt. I mean, we can't even afford, we only got 6 cents left after we pay Social Security, Medicare, those big items. 10,000 baby boomers, that takes up about 70-some% of the budget. Yeah. We only got 6 cents left. So it's crazy.
So you are correct. And these are identified as the problems that are the perfect storm. Now, what do most people do on their own about these things? What are you seeing right now? When you get calls in, are people just hiding from the fear and hoping that this stuff goes away?
It is. And people, what happens, it's like a deer in headlights. You know, they come in and they're really scared. For a while, they really were just doing nothing. We give them a call and they didn't. Now all of a sudden, we're calling. They're starting to want to move. Len, can you help me? Len, I just lost 20,000. I lost 50,000. Now it's real. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's what's happening. I mean, people, you know, but they're now starting to move. So what we want to do is be able to help them. These taxes. Now, here, listen to this. Now, who do you think that's going to fall on, Spike? Oh, we're going to go after the top, you know, all right, the Musks and the big guys, right? They're going to attorney up. These guys got loopholes. Here's the thing that's amazing. Think about this, folks. We're now got 84,000 IRS agents being hired, and they're armed. Now, that's scary, dude. That is super scary, folks. I mean, and where are they going? They're going to go after the middle class, just like they do. Folks, taxes are going to go up, and they may double. Right. So we've got some strategies we're going to talk about.
So the perfect storm of the things that we were talking about, we had just, you know, inflation and tax and what's going on. But you had just brought up there, and I'll give it a name. I'll give this monster a name. We're calling it the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
which is what we've talked about. So how much inflation do you really think it's going to reduce?
None. I mean, they've got economists out there. I mean, Nobel Prize economists say this is probably not going to help the economy one bit.
Right.
It's going to cost more. It's going after that green energy again. Okay, but it's sad to me because I'm going to tell you, it's going to fall on the middle class, and the folks are going to be hit. Now, we can help. This is where we want to, say, hey guys, here's the problem, which most folks probably by now know there's a problem.
Right.
But how do we solve that problem?
One of the things that maybe we can explain a little bit more for the viewers, the Safe Money Scorecard.
Right.
Okay? We know it by name. We know what it is. Please explain for the viewers out there. First of all, you can get it complimentary. Safe Money Scorecard. I know what it is. Len, take it away. What is this?
Yeah, and basically, it's, your retirement. We kind of do a retirement readiness kind of review. We've been calling it here the Safe Hurricane Safe Harbor.
Get yourself hurricane safe.
But basically, what we'll do is in that review, there's going to be a number of components. One's going to be the Safe Money Scorecard, where we're going to take and look at 4 of the top annuities, fixed index annuities, folks, not variables. We do not do variable annuities. Variable annuities put you right back in the market. I want you out, okay? But we're going to put you safe. You'll never lose your principal. We're going to take a look at 4 of them, okay? And some may have a long-term care rider on them. Some of them may be guaranteed lifetime income. You may be one that has somebody wants to enhance the death benefit, believe it or not, for legacy. So there's a lot of different designs. And the master chef, my partner, Art, I'm just a sous chef. I cut, vegetables and get out the kitchen.
And I was like the financial
He's
master
the financial
chef,
master chef. He's been doing it 32 years. He's great. He's behind the screen doing all the analysis. If I had to do that, I'd shoot myself. But we make a great team because I do this with you, and he loves being behind the computer doing the analysis. But we'll put that together for you and get the right design for you. But folks, come in and let us help you out. We also do the income analyzer, okay, where we're going to show you, will your money go the distance, folks? That's the #1 concern of all retirees on surveys.
That's probably the biggest question.
It's the biggest one. Will my money go the distance with me because we're living longer?
Well, and when you get phone calls in, whether it's the television program or from the radio show or just folks who know who you are, they might say, is this product okay? Is this annuity all right? What do you think of this 401k? What do you think about rental property? And when it comes down to it, the real question they're asking is, am I going to be okay?
Absolutely.
Is my money going to last?
Is my money going to last?
And one of the best ways to do that is get that income analyzer.
So
what do you do? Do you sort of crash test their income to see what's going to happen?
That's exactly what the software does, okay? And that's one of the things we'll give you in our readiness kit, right? Or, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll actually take what is your income, everything that's coming in, okay? Social Security, pensions, real estate rental, whatever you got coming in, okay? You and the spouse. And then we'll take a look at what is your goal. Tell me what you want. Okay, Lan, I want 80,000, 50,000, whatever it is in retirement. Now, one of the things Art has to do is take into account what? Inflation and taxes. Because folks, inflation will eat you alive, and so will taxes.
Yeah.
So we got to plan for that. Okay. Now we're going to put that in that analyzer, and we're going to see if there are gaps. And if there are gaps, we're going to figure out how to fill those gaps. Maybe we have to reposition some money. We're going to talk about tax strategies and how we might take some of that money and do Roth conversions.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, we're going to get that after the break. Folks, if you want to get your own income analyzer, which will crash test your income strategy to see will your money last no matter what's going on in the markets, including this high inflation, higher taxes likely coming down the road. If you would like to get your own complimentary income analyzer, call the phone number you see right here, 844-299-0355. More with my pal, Len Strickler, and let's talk safe money when we get back right after this.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place and then help determine if you're well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision, so why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you're getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Safe Money with Len Strickler. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. And, you know, there are a lot of perfect storms right now going on in the economy that are scaring today's retiree. We want to talk about some solutions. Len, though, the storyteller, you know, tell me a little bit. There are many things that we need to be worrying about right now, especially as we're pulling money out of our accounts. But I think you tell it better in a story.
Well, I usually do analogies, as you know. I love to tell stories, you know. Think about climbing Mount Everest, okay? When I do my workshops, I say, folks, if we were going to climb Mount Everest, what would be the goal? And a lot of people say, get to the top, because they're excited to get to the top.
For me, I would say to stay warm.
Yeah, well, that's another, yeah, right? Well, where do you think most people were killed?
Well, unfortunately, I've read these stories. Coming down
the mountain, yeah.
So there's a lot of crowd, there's a lot of traffic, and then, you know, the oxygen level, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's
same thing. We've got to get down the mountain. And here's what happens. When you get in retirement, folks, you know, when you're going up the mountain, it's the accumulation phase. You're young, you know, you're wanting a return on your money. You want to see that high interest rate. Most financial advisors are trained there, okay? That's where they're trained. And, of course, when they're doing that, they got, you know, their rice bowl here, and they're getting that 1.5% or whatever. Even if you're losing money, by the way, they're getting that fee. But going up the mountain is really a return of your money. When you're coming down that mountain, folks, all things, I'm telling you, it changes everything. You're coming down the mountain in the distribution phase. Now you're talking about a return of your money, okay? You're not putting money back in. I mean, this is a return of your money, right? So coming down, we've got some risks, okay? Obviously, one of the risks we talk about, there's 7 risks that we want to talk about. One is, of course, market risk. We've talked about that, okay?
So let's just stop right there, though. So if we've kept our money in the investment accounts, even if we've gone to a lighter, softer allocation, we want our money to continue to grow over 10 or 20 or 30 years, right?
Correct.
And so if we're taking money from that account and that market has gone down, then it's almost like we've lost twice as much money.
Twice as much. And people don't think about that, by the way. It's a good point, Spike, you make. When you're taking that money out, you're not putting any more money in. So you've just dug a bigger hole when that money that market goes down. It's terrible. So anyway, that's one of the risks. Another risk coming down that mountain that folks don't think about is sequence of returns. Okay, there's a red zone in retirement: 5 years before, 5 years in, and 5 years out. It's very, very critical. You don't want to lose money. Now, if you're in the market and you lose money anytime during that period of time, you're really going to hurt. In 2008, it took people, they lost 40%, some 50% of their money. It took them 7 to 10 years just to get back even. I've got clients that won't even buy green bananas. I mean, come on. I mean, that you don't have that time.
Okay, so let me ask you this. It's real out there. The losses are real in the markets. Absolutely. Is it too late for people to get their money safer, as you would say? Is it too late to make a change because of the losses they've already taken right now?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Do you want to keep riding the elevator down? I mean, we rode the elevator. We've had, you said it earlier, we had 12, 13, what, 13 years almost?
Oh, yeah, almost 14 years of a bull run. The longest bull run in American history.
Let me tell you, we got on that elevator and we were going to the top, man, to the penthouse.
And everybody was positive.
Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden, what happens? What goes up will come down. So here's the thing. Do you want to ride that elevator all the way down to the outhouse? Okay. No. I mean, folks, you have the ability to push the button, okay? You can get off. Now, when you get off, now we've got to take that money and we got to get it in a place where it's safe and we can start to get some gains back for you, okay? So that's one thing.
Now, when you're talking, because I have a feeling you're around this fixed income annuity again, are you more of a fan of immediate? Because what if people are withdrawing from their accounts right now? We put it into an annuity. Do we need to wait a little while before we can rely on that, on income? And
well, you can take income on these annuities, right, first year. I mean, you can start taking income out of them immediately. Okay. But you might want to let it, if you can, let it ferment a little. Maybe you don't have to take anything for the, till year 2 or 3, and you start to get some nice gains. And there's some nice gains now in these new annuities. These aren't your grandfather's annuities. These are, in the old days, you had a cap, you typically were put on these, and they weren't now your money was safe, but they really weren't helping you get anywhere, okay? These annuities today, all right, in the last 3 to 4 years, have unlimited upside, okay? So there's a participation rate that is unlimited. If that index, because remember, you're in the index. In a fixed index annuity, you're in an index, and you're not even in it. By the way, you're credited based on the index. The insurance company is going to credit you.
I see the big difference. Okay, so, because there are a lot of folks who think that. Say, well, why would I go over to an annuity that's just going to put me back over into a market? Yeah. You're saying it's credited on what that index does.
And that index, by the way they design these, the Vanguard, Fidelity, BlackRock, they design these indexes. It's not like the market. It's not like the roller coaster. They're nice and steady. They can move. There's 5 of them inside there possibly. They can move them back and forth to gold, to oil, to whatever. And so it's a nice thing, right? So you may only get 5%, but we have one right now that's paying 200% of whatever that index does. If that index does 5, they're going to credit you 10% interest. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, they really have changed.
Right. And now, again, though, you need to evaluate this. What we try to do is define the purpose and the goal of the money. Is it for growth? Is it for income? But for you, a lot of the purpose starts with the title of the show. Let's get the money safe.
Safe money. Yeah. Now, folks, we do manage money. We have a CPA on board. She's a CPA, CFP. She's also a registered investment advisor. Her name's 𝗂𝗄. She's one of our co-founders. It's great. We do have, we do a lot of tax work, and we get folks to 0 taxes in retirement. We have done that quite a bit.
Wait a minute. Yeah. I don't have a lot of time today. What do you mean you get them to 0 taxes?
I'm going to talk to you about that later, and we're going to talk about that.
Okay. So we will talk, I think, in our further programs about Roth conversions, why it's so important to be doing right now. Let's talk, since you did bring up annuity, once again, just the Safe Money Scorecard. What exactly is that? Yeah,
basically what we do is we'll take I find out what you are looking for. That's the main thing. I want to know what the prospect is looking for. And then we'll design it. Art will go out, the master chef, financial master chef. He'll go out and he'll find the best annuity. We, by the way, deal with only A-rated companies, okay? They're big, strong, safe companies, but we don't deal with anything that's below an A. So they're good, strong companies. He'll find a good index, right? But he also has to find an index that's paying you a good percentage. So he looks for those 3 things. And we find the top 4 annuities, okay? And what we'll do is we'll show you different designs. Okay, one design may be, like I said, long-term care. Now they're putting long-term care riders because we're living longer. Yeah. Another one might be guaranteed lifetime income. That's another design. Okay, where you get that money just like Social Security. If the money stops, runs out, you keep getting it if you're 120 years old. So there's things like that. So, that's what the scorecard will do for them.
Well, we'll make sure that we get that in the viewers' hands. Len, it's great to see you in person. Once again, we do the radio programs here in South Florida. We do the television shows. Folks, if you would like to get your own complimentary Safe Money Scorecard and get your money as safe as you can, give us a call right here, 844-299-0355. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Safe Money with Len Strickler. We'll be back again next week.